Albert, I am granted. Okay, you've got recording
I got it.
and you've got 15 minutes.
All right, perfect. Thank you. All right, so Richard, man, I just watched Murder at Yellowstone City yesterday, and I got to tell you, man, I love a good Western, but I also love a good murder mystery, and I loved how these two mesh the two genres.
Oh, thank you, brother. It's such an exciting film to make, and actually, the combination of the genres is what made me want to do it so much.
Oh, so that you just pretty much answered my next question. But yeah, how did you? So you saw the script and you just knew that you wanted to tackle this project.
Yeah. So Eric Balgal, who wrote our last film, Robert the Bruce, we were building this town in Montana for this film, and we had a unique opportunity to write a script that was, purpose built for what we have here. I live in Montana, and we built the Yellowstone Film Ranch to be for this movie, and it's a great way to work, because for the years we're building it over 3 years, we're just thinking about the shots, seeing the seasons change, thinking about the right time of year to shoot it, and then the pandemic hit. But the murder mystery part of it was fascinating to me. Also, the diversity of it seemed original and fresh and timely. And so I think Eric really knocked it out of the park. And I think his writing was what enabled us to get such a brilliant cast.
Exactly. And speaking of the cast, I mean, we have a stellar cast in this movie. Gabriel Byrne, Thomas Jane, Isaiah Mustafa, Nat Wolff, Aimee Garcia, Richard Dreyfuss, Zach McGowan. I mean, these guys are like some of my favorite actors, and they all come together in this movie. And Richard Dreyfuss, I don't know, he's becoming a more comic king. He's becoming a new comic, like a old school comic actor again. And I like the scene where Zach's character shows him the gold, and he's like, "You're not gonna." Oh, hello. I absolutely lost it. I absolutely cracked up at that scene. But what was it like working with the cast on this one?
Yeah, when you take the first phone call with the Richard Dreyfuss or a Gabriel Byrne, when we grow up, Miller's Crossing or George, American Graffiti, like Usual Suspects. I mean, these guys are just so good. And so it was lucky we'd done so much research.
Yeah.
Because Richard's basically a historian. And, Gabriel actually in Dublin grew up watching Westerns at his local theater. And so we wanted to cast people that you don't see a lot in Westerns. We thought that would be interesting as well. So working with this cast, like you said, Tanaya Beatty, Aimee Garcia, Anna Camp, Zach McGowan, Scotty Thompson, Nat Wolff as Gabriel Byrne's son. Just fascinating to see them in these type of roles. Isaiah Mustafa has such a strength to him. And that was the other thing, to have an arrested Black man in this town in the 1880s, is the town going to do the right thing or the wrong thing? With hope, with faith. Like, it's easy to say something, but how far are you willing to go to get the truth?
I love how in the movie the whole town was pretty much divided, because you have Thomas Jane and his wife protecting Cicero, and then you have a lot of the other townsfolk, like, including Gabriel Byrne and those guys, totally against it, all because they saw him as pretty much the token Black man. So like, he did it. He's the murderer, because it was just easy.
It was just easier, as it sometimes is today. And it was fascinating to me reading it that it takes the Native American girl, which back then would have been now, but back then, I mean, she has to stand up, to Gabriel, because she won't let the truth not be told. And it's great that she's the call that convinces Anna Camp, the preacher's wife, to convince Thomas Jane to do the right thing. If that's what you're preaching, and at what cost. And it's fascinating.
Yes, and just so fans will know, there is a little subplot involving Richard Dreyfuss, his character, and that was mind blowing to me, because this is something you never would have ever seen in this type of movie, let alone the setting. You never would imagine that twist in the story. But considering what month we're in, I think it's very important that was played out, and it was done so subtly and nicely.
I appreciate that, and he was just so rapt to play that role with John Ailes, who was another tremendous character actor. And so those guys together were just fascinating. And we wanted a diversity where the truth would be represented.
Yeah.
as it was, and as it is. And I think Eric did a great job, because that's a lot of characters and a lot of storylines. And to pull it all into 2 hours was it was quite a feat.
Yeah, but I will tell you, it really did. It really kept the film going. It really kept me going. I kept trying to guess who the killer was. So I knew it wasn't him. I kept trying to guess.
Great.
And once the killer was revealed, my jaw literally dropped to the ground. Like it was someone I wasn't expecting at all. And
yeah,
it was totally well done. I'm like,
oh, dude, but that's the biggest compliment, because that's what you worry about when you're putting one of these things together. Because you want, and actually, folks that have seen it and critics that have seen it all had a different opinion on who it was, and that's a dream come true for me.
Yeah, exactly. This is like the best thing about unpredictability. I mean, this is exactly what I love about murder mysteries. It keeps me guessing who could have done this. But once that reveal hit, I was just like, no way. And
yes.
it was just amazing. How long did shooting take, and what challenges did you face during production?
We were peak COVID, so the film actually had to shut down 6 months earlier because that was the start.
Yeah. And
vaccines weren't here yet, and then we finished shooting exactly this time last year under the strictest of COVID protocol. So it was hardcore, and you would lose time in the day, but it actually just put the focus on for myself and the team to make decisions and just concentrate on story and character and just get it. And so I think we shot over 6 or 7 weeks. And the great thing about building the Yellowstone Film Ranch is it's all in our backyard. Within the 500 acres, just 30 minutes from Yellowstone, you have the Dunnigan's cabin up in the gulch where the gold mine is, and it's in there for real. So you got the forest there, you got the Yellowstone River there, and then all the prairie and floodplains right there. So we were able to utilize our time by not having to go 2 hours over there and 2 hours over there. It was all in our backyard.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. I got to say, though, I think everyone's going to enjoy this one. I know there's people out there who might not like Westerns, and there's also going to be people out there who might not like murder mysteries. But you know what? I know a majority do like both, so I think they're really going to enjoy this film, and I hope they enjoy it as much as I did. I mean, you had...
Oh, thank you. Well, the challenge these days is getting it out there, because other than the tent poles, theatrical is not really working for indies, and so we just have to do our push. We've hopefully made something that will stand the test of time, that people will find when they find it, but we really hope it gets seen, because it was a beautiful experience.
It was. And so finally, what's next for you? Are you working on anything new that you can talk about, or are you just like, all right, I'm working on something, I can't say nothing yet, but
well, no, we've got another Western.
Okay, that works. We're doing another one.
It's very different. I just love the genre so much. And actually, you'll be seeing the Yellowstone Film Ranch a lot more, because we've had back-to-back Westerns come after us.
Yeah.
And so the town will be getting seen a lot, which is great, because these films used to go to Canada, which I adore, but they're Montana, Wyoming stories. So it's great that we can actually shoot them where they're set now. So we have a Western, and then we also have another Scottish epic film. There's a real guy called James Douglas, and it was William Wallace, Robert the Bruce, and James Douglas. These were the people that Scots grew up with, and it's my heritage too. And so we've got an epic James Douglas film to do as well. But first, I just want to get Murder at Yellowstone City out to the world and just promote it. The actors are so great. The actors are all on board. I think all actors want to make a Western at some point in their lives, and they've been phenomenal support.
Yeah, and I do gotta say this: the Western, I think, is making a huge comeback. I've been watching a lot more indie westerns, and I just found out about one that's they just finished shooting. It's starring a friend of mine. It's coming out later this year. It's called Gunfight at Rio Bravo, and and this one's unexpected because this has like some top like indie action stars doing a western for the first time. So it's gonna be quite interesting to see how they pull this one off.
I mean, we have a Mario Van Peebles sequel to Posse coming up at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I mean, we just shot a Nicolas Cage western. It's great, and Taylor Sheridan has done a lot. Even though Yellowstone is not is modern day, it's just shown people, particularly during the pandemic, that there is a want to see these people, and in these surrounds, like when we're trapped inside for so long. And there's a want for escapism, and there's also a want for history. And it was fascinating for me getting to know American history better, and to live here now and just absorb it. It's always great when you can do some research and do spins off actually true stories. And that's a beautiful thing about westerns.
Yeah, I think everyone needs to start watching westerns again. And and I think they should start with this one. So I'm serious. Everyone needs to start with this one. Murder at Yellowstone City is coming out next Friday, the 24th, in theaters, on demand, and digital. I don't care how you're gonna see it. I hope you see it in the theaters, but if not, check it out, because it is such a great meshing of the western with a murder mystery. And I'm telling you guys, you're gonna keep guessing. You're gonna and once you find out who it is, find out who's doing this, I guarantee your jaws are gonna drop. But Richard,
let's not drop that spoiler online.
Yeah, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna drop the spoiler line, but I will say you guys will be surprised. That's all I'm gonna leave it at. But
so much, man.
But
appreciate
Richard, man, thanks again, man. It's been great talking to you. And
nice
I hope the film, same here, and I hope the film's a hit.
Thank you, brother.
All right, you take care. All right.
See you, mate.
See ya.
Bye.